Okay, today I'm in Belgium, Wellington Racecourse in Ostend with DIETER VANLERBERGHE. DIETER, a racecourse bookmaker in Belgium. We didn't even know that existed until we got talking to each other. Thanks very much for inviting us out here and agreeing to talk to us. First of all, how many years have you been a bookmaker here?
Well, I'm working as a bookmaker since 1999. So I started when I was 21 years old. At that time, that was the youngest age that was allowed to do that. So my father is also a track bookmaker. So he started in the early 90s. So I took it from there. So yeah, my first experience as a bookmaker was here in Ostende.
Okay, so you got your first license at 21. Your dad was a bookmaker, so did you always sort of know that you were going to follow in his footsteps?
Yes, I think so, yes. What happened is my father, he went to the racetracks as a punter, small punter, going every week, once a week, twice a week. And he said, listen, this is something I want to do later or when I have some time. And he started trying to get his license. It took him years and years and years. And after I think 5-6 years, he met someone, Yuri Empens, that was his father, and he's the owner of Bingo at the moment. And he met that guy and he said, listen, I want to become a bookmaker. And he said, the father of Yuri said, listen, I'm gonna make sure you're gonna become a bookmaker. I will call you tomorrow morning. But my father heard that already so many times and he said, yeah, okay, you will not call me anyway. And the next morning, Monday morning, he called him and he said, listen, next Friday you can work as a bookmaker. So my father became bookmaker because of the guy at Bingo, where I'm working now for. So, and I still remember the first day he went working on the pitch, and I was looking at him, hardly realized what he was doing. I was 11, 12 years old or so. And I remember he did that and I said straight away, listen, when I'm old, that's what I'm going to do. I knew it at that moment. It was written in the stars, let's say. So yeah, I knew it quite young. Yeah.
Was he a successful punter?
No, he was a small punter. No, he was just a leisure punter. Yeah, no, not at all really. He was really looking to bookmakers as they knew everything, and then he thought that must be amazing to be one of them. And no, he was a small punter, and he also started as a bookmaker, as a very small bookmaker, as a startup, and yeah, went bigger and bigger.
Okay, so when I got talking to you, it was as a racecourse bookmaker, which, you know, like I say, I was surprised. I didn't know there were racecourse bookmakers in Belgium, but you started your first online company at the age of 23. Yeah. So you're a businessman, and it's a betting company.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit about that?
Well, maybe I learned the business, the whole business I learned at the pitch here with my father. What happened is when people become a bookmaker, they are standing on the last pitch, let's say, so in the worst position. And in the beginning that was okay, but my father, he could only see his neighbor and his neighbor near that. And he said, I would like to see what the first bookmakers, what they have written down. And we started to learn a language like what's his name? John. Yeah, John.
Yeah, tic-tac.
Yeah, tic-tac it's called. Yeah. And we learned our own language because we didn't know that language. And I was 14 years old, and I started to tell him what was on all the pitches all the time. And that's where I learned the percentages, and I said, okay, this is attractive. And I was calculating for him almost, and I was 14 years old. So that's where I learned the business. Yeah. And I was studying, I had my degree in accounting, was 20 years old, and I said, listen, I'm gonna learn IT and I'm gonna learn to develop just to start a website and do it myself. But there was a guy coming every week at the pitch also, who's one of my neighbors, and he came to me, and at a certain moment he said to me, listen, I started an online company in bookmaking, and it was called Mr. Bookmaker. And he told me that, and I was so jealous. I remember, I said, oh my God, I wanted to do that. That's what I want. That's something for me. And every week I saw him, and every week I went to him and said, how did it go, and how many new customers do you have? And I was so interested, and he felt that, of course. and after 2-3 months, he offered me a job, and he said, "Listen, do you want to join Mr. Bookmaker? We're only 3 guys now, and you could become the 4th." And I was fortunate enough that we could invest in it in early days. So and that was in 2000 and 2001. So and only 5 years later, 2005, 2006, we sold it already to Unibet. So let's say it was a very great experience and very fast. Learned everything from A to Z there. Yeah, it was fun. It was really fun.
That was the very early days. So did Unibet absorb the business, or does it still exist?
Unibet totally took all the customer base. Even the URL is not existing anymore. So no, they just took the customer base. We were quite big in Belgium, of course, in Netherlands and in France. So we have a huge market over there. We were the first ones, but at that time, it was a bit in the grey zone. There was no legal framework, not in these 3 countries, and Europe said, "Okay, you can do it," but the local country said, "No, you cannot bet." So it was a bit in the grey zone at that time. Yeah, in hindsight, it was all easy, but okay, that's always afterwards.
Okay. Now going back to the racecourse bookmaking. I mean, do you bet at any other race courses?
But in Belgium, we still have 5 tracks. Let's say 2 of them are for bookmakers attractive because there is some public. That's here in Ostende, where we have 9 meetings every Monday in July and August, where we had a lot of tourists and a lot of normal punters. And then you have one other big track, that's in Waregem. And they also still have some public, so I'm working now and again over there. Waregem has one big day, that's a bit like Cheltenham Festival, but it's only one day. They have 35 to 40,000 people. It's called Waregem course. This is next Tuesday, so the 29th of August, I think. Huge day also for the bookmakers. So that are the things I do. Now and again, they ask me to work, for example, on a boxing game, or to work like on a cycling thing. That is okay. Can you come over? We also have some short tracks in horse racing, but it's more for the atmosphere really, and for the buzz that they ask it.
Okay, so how easy is it? Can anybody become a racehorse bookmaker in Belgium if they're Belgian?
Well, no, you need quite a lot of licenses. Yeah, you have to get approved also by, let's say, the board of bookmakers. So it's not that easy. On the other hand, we were, I think, 20, 30 years ago, I think we were 40, 50, 60 bookmakers, and everyone had his job, has his work. Now there are only 8 or 9 left, and it's enough. What I mean is, it's not everyone has his ticket. It's never busy, so it's still competitive. It's attractive for the punters. It should be attractive for the bookmakers. So yeah, there's no room really, to be honest, and it's just enough like it is today. And it's going a natural way. It's like here we are still 8, but in Waregem, for example, I could go every meeting to Waregem, but I'm only going 2 or 3 times a year. So, however, I could stand there, but it's not worth it. Let's say, just there's no tickets enough. Let's say, for 8 already. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So, could just theoretically, if I had a bookmaker's license in Belgium, could I come to you and say, I'll give you money and buy your pitch off you? Is that how it works? Can you buy and sell your pitch?
No, that's not how it works. The thing is, you have to get approved really by the board of bookmakers, and you need to have a track record. You have to. Yeah. It's a bit not random. Is not true, but to be honest, the interest in it is not that big either. It's also some kind of, let's say, family thing. As I said, we are 8 here today. My father is one of the 8. I'm the other one, so that's already 2 of the 8. That's coming from me and my dad. And the other 6 also, they have been his father. They have some relationship with father or fathers-in-laws or whatever. So yeah, it's a bit an internal thing at the moment.
Okay. So is it possible to be a professional racecourse bookmaker in Belgium?
No, it's not. It's a pity, because I would like that. I always said, I hope when I'm 60 or 70 years old, I can still do that and I can still earn some money on it. If I have a good year, and if it's a good year, yes, I'm gonna win some money. But it's a hobby. It's nothing more than that. I like it, I love it, it's still the cash, that's the nicest thing, because it's compared with the online business where everything is digital, but here you still bet with €5, €10, you have to change the money, you have to pay them out, it's different.
Yeah.
€100 bet, paying out in money, 300-400, it's different than just online for one or another reason. And that's the beauty of the thing. Also, you have to read people a bit, you have to feel what's happening. This is the nice thing of the job. While online, yeah, it's a different thing. So it's let's say it's a hobby. If there would be 30-40 meetings like this in a year, yeah, then maybe we could start to think of a business again. But,
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this card today is a mixture of trotting and horse racing. Which is the most popular with the betting public, or do you have different punters that like?
Yeah, well, with the public that knows the sport, is it trotting in Belgium. When it comes to tourists and people who come once a day, it's for sure the galloping. So it's quite a big difference. Galloping, everyone understands. In Belgium, we say trotting. That's the real horse racing. Of course, in the UK, they will not agree with that. I understand why. We're coming a bit too much from the French people, let's say, where in France trotting is the main thing. Like,
Is it really?
Yeah, like the Prix d'Amérique is the big day, and everything comes a bit from there. So yeah, for here in Belgium, trotting is still the biggest of the two.
Okay, now how much attention from the non-sporting press, or even the sporting press, does racing get in Belgium?
Yeah, not enough for sure, and it's a pity, because we have a high level in high level of jockeys. We have a world championship amateurs. We have Christophe Soumillon, who's Belgian. We have in trotting, we have Jos Verbeek, who won three or four times the Prix d'Amérique. We have Christophe Martens, who won Elite Lopet. We have, for example, now a young girl, Hanna Huygens. She won the most races in whole Europe as a woman. So we have really quality jockeys. The horses, okay, we're not getting up to that level again as 20-30 years ago, but we have champions. We have champions in Belgium, and it's never getting in the press. On big days, they show in the Waregem koers, whatever they show all the hats and all the new things and all the funny things. Or if a horse is falling and he has then they show it when a big accident happens or something. But no, nothing about betting and the horses itself. It's not enough, not at all even, especially if you know the quality we have.
Okay, and how does racing publicise itself? Does it make a real effort to sort of get out there?
Well, it tried for many years. The thing that went wrong in Belgium is that all the racetracks, they were living from all the betting taxes that all the bookmaker and all the tote was paying to them, and they were relying on that, sitting back. Of course, sports betting came up, less and less betting money on horses, and of course the income was shrinking. Yeah, and because of that, they didn't do much enough for the marketing. However, I've been invited a couple of weeks ago to a roundabout where we were sitting with, let's say, 10-15 young professionals, talking, okay, how can we pick that up? And I feel something is happening. There's a lot of goodwill, a lot of people want to do something. Social media and these things are starting to come up. A bit too late, but okay, at least a lot of good efforts, I feel. And I think it's still possible. At least, as I said, we still have the tracks, we still have the horses, we still have an interest of the public, so it's still alive.